Hello and welcome to Seagrave as Leicester City's 25-26 season begins today. The first week back here at the training ground has been all about a reset. That's hard work, intense fitness and plenty training sessions. Andy King told us this week that all of the lads have been absolutely fantastic this week and that today's game is an extension of that training week. Yes, welcome along. I'm Dan Bates. Mark Albrighton is alongside me. He needs no introduction, does he? Premier League winner, of course, with the Foxes, FA Cup winner, Community Shield winner. The list is endless, isn't it? I guess, Mark. Welcome along. Thank you for being here. Have you had a nice summer?
Yeah, it's been very nice. Not having the fear of coming back to pre-season always helps. But I think now I'm looking to the football coming back and getting games and get into games as well and seeing how everyone comes back and the different squads, the different players that have been signed for various clubs and looking forward to the football coming back to our screens.
So Sunday night just gone. Normally you'd have been thinking, oh no, SDS test tomorrow, first week of pre-season, double session every week. Whereas you probably just sat at home chilling this time.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't have just been Sunday night. It would have been for the last two or 3 weeks. Where you get probably the first week or two to switch off and relax. But after that, you start getting into it. You start doing a couple of runs. And up as the off season goes and with certain fitness levels and they've got more demanding as time's gone on and as the years have gone on. But yeah, for me, I was sat at home watching a box set with.
Right, let's go. Basically, for those of you that don't know, basically there'll be two different sets of teams playing 45 minutes each today. We're right by one of the warm-up goals as well, which is a little bit dangerous here, Mark. The team is for the Foxes is Jakub Stolarczyk in goal, Ricardo Akoli, Nelson and Luke Thomas across the back four, Harry Winks and Ollie Skip in midfield with Marcel Golding and Mavididi supporting Jake Evans. So that is the Leicester City starting 11 for the first 45 minutes here today. I guess, Mark, and you don't want to read in teams or anything like that at this point. We've got Filbert behind us as well currently. Come in, have a quick hello, Filbert, to Mark. There we go. The reason Filbert's here is there's a number of supporters here, way over behind us. There, 499 Leicester fans who are here to watch Fox in pre-season. As we were saying, Mark, it's not really about the team. It's not about the result today. It's about the fitness. That's why we're seeing each player basically having 45 minutes. Yeah, absolutely. I think it is easy to, as fans and supporters, it's easy to look at this first game. It's the first chance to see some of the players again after a bit of a break, but I think for the players themselves and the coaching staff will tell you it is all about fitness. This is another training session with the added extra that it gives you. It gets you that sort of recognition of the pitch again and your spaces and your positional play on the pitch. It gives you that again, but the most important thing is this will see off the end of a very hard week's training, where there's obviously a lot of double sessions in there, and then obviously now they get the game time. How much different is match fitness to training fitness? Because even in training you see 9v9 games and they're playing, but it must be such a different intensity even at this stage of pre-season, just actually playing a game against different opposition.
Yeah, it is, and I think even when you're coming back from injury, that you notice it. You notice it massively. You can come in and train, and you can do sort of weeks and weeks of training after a long-term injury, but nothing will prepare you for that first day of coming back onto a football pitch in a competitive game. So this is no different. Obviously, the lads have had some time off, and it's about getting minutes in the legs. But players nowadays are so finely tuned athletes that they have to be careful. The staff have to be so careful in the ways that they do bring the players back and the work that they do. It's all analysed on stats and They need to look at them stats closely and monitor them on a daily basis.
Well, let's hear now from one of the players that is in the first of the two 45-minute 11s today. Steffi Mavididi, we believe, playing off the left-hand side today. We caught up with him at Seagrave at the end of this week, at the end of an intense first week of pre-season training.
It's been a good week. It's good to get back with the boys. The boys are working hard. King is pushing us through it. Now it's where the hard work starts, and it's good to get back into the rhythm of things.
Well, Steffi, this is the end of day 4 now of pre-season. It's been, from the outside looking in, a very, very long, and I mean that in a good way, long week with an awful lot of hard work.
Yeah, of course. First week back's always tough. You know, we've had some good sessions over the course of the week, and obviously want to cap that off on Saturday with our game and show our performance in that. No, but like I said, it's been a good week. It's good to get back with the boys. The boys are working hard. King is pushing us through it. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to the weekend to get this week ticked off. So yeah.
The mood, again, from an outsider looking in, seems very good, and all the lads seem to be pulling in the same direction.
Yeah, of course. We've got a good group of boys here. So obviously, like I said, we was really excited to come back and see each other. You know, have our little banter, and that's what we missed over the summer period. But yeah, it's now it's where the hard work starts, and obviously they're pushing us through it. So you know, like I said, we had a good week of training, and it's good to get back into the rhythm of things.
Yeah, another double session again tomorrow, isn't it? Before the game, of course, on Saturday. How are you feeling physically in yourself? And I'm sure you've spoken to some of the other lads. How is everyone feeling ahead of that first game? I
think overall, even looking at the testing that we've done, you know, we're all in good shape, we're all in a good position physically, and now it's just about getting through these weeks, these long, hard weeks. It's about getting through that collectively, and you know, trying to get match fit, get into that match fitness. So obviously, hopefully we'll get there for the games that we play, and it's just building up towards that.
In that game, how different is it, fitness-wise, to doing, you know, the drills that we see here, where it's you're setting up in game-like environments, but to actually play a match, if you like? How different is that fitness-wise?
It's completely different. Match fitness is completely different to obviously what you do in training. So it's good to get that in your legs, and obviously it's nice to play a football match in it, where there's like no restrictions, and you know, you can just go out and enjoy yourself. So yeah, that's the main difference. It's the fitness.
Just finally, how excited are you again to? You mentioned it yourself there. Just get out there and play a proper game of football again.
Yeah, obviously, like when you're on holiday and vacation, obviously you miss it. So you know, obviously wanted to get back, work hard, and obviously get pleasure through the matches. So yeah, can't wait to play, get back into that rhythm, you know, get that match fitness into our legs.
Well, that was Steffi Mavididi there chatting to me here at Seagrave at the end of this week, and we heard Mark basically reiterating effectively what you've been saying, what we've been saying, that this week's been really, really good actually for all of the lads. Kingy's received a lot of praise. Kingy spoke himself yesterday about how good this week has been. Not that people are necessarily surprised by that, but all the lads have come back and they've been really intense in everything that they've done.
Yeah, and I think you would expect that, especially now. Players are so professional and they look after themselves over a summer, and I know we laugh and joke about pre-season and dreading it, but players are healthy lads, and they want to get themselves to the top fitness levels and feel good, because if you come down from that slightly, you don't feel good in yourself, and these all want to get that under the belt and feel fit and feel ready to play. And yeah, I spoke to Kingy myself last night on the phone and just asked how it was going. He reiterated that. He just says the lads have been absolutely this week, and he's really they've all each to a man have all come back and in good shape and put the work in.
When you look at the first of the 11s today, that you see there, who are you really looking forward to seeing in action?
Yeah, I think obviously it's nice to see. You've probably not seen too much of obviously Jake Evans up front. I've not seen a great deal of him, heard a lot about him. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on up there today. But then when you've got players like Ricardo Pereira at right back, it's always good to see Ricardo on a football pitch. He's got so much ability, fantastic player. At times in his Leicester career with injuries, so anytime you get to see Ricardo out on a pitch is good value.
And then obviously in that midfield, you're looking at the likes of Harry Winks, even Michael Golding. You'll have seen him in anything to.
Yeah, I think he'll be happy of his chance today and being able to come here and play in the same team as Harry Winks and the same midfielders, Harry Winks and Oliver Skipp.
Sorry, thank you very much, Mark. What we're going to do is we're going to hand over to the commentary team now. We're just over a month away from that opening game at day. A couple of seasons ago.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Day 6 of pre-season for Leicester City, and now less than 6 weeks away from the Championship opener against Sheffield Wednesday on the 10th of August. After a week crammed with tough double sessions, the players are swapping the training pitches for the match surface here in Seagrave as the Foxes welcome League One side Peterborough United for the first test of the 25-26 programme. Well, Leicester are without a head coach and without their greatest ever player for the first time in 13 years. But this summer is about resetting, both physically and mentally, after a challenging 12 months. The usual pre-season fare is expected this afternoon, with City, led by former Fox Andy King for now, set to play with two different groups of players across 45 minutes each. Around 20 players will feature for Leicester. The club keen to get minutes into as many legs as possible. Several senior players still yet to reconnect with the group, particularly those who are on international duty in June, so there'll be plenty of younger faces involved for the Foxes this afternoon too. Well, let's take a look at the City 11 for the first half. Jakub Stalacic starts in goal with two other academy graduates in front of him, Luke Thomas and Ben Nelson, the latter on loan in the Championship last season with Oxford. Ricardo captains the side from right back. Experience comes in the form of Winks, Skipp and Mavididi, whilst youngster Michael Golding will play in behind 16-year-old Jake Evans, who made his Premier League debut in April. Well, Peterborough a little further along in their preparations, the League One campaign kicking off a week sooner than the Championship. Darren Ferguson's side have been sharpening up at St George's Park ahead of a stern start away at Cardiff 4 weeks from today. They line up with a very similar plan in mind to rotate after 45 minutes. That's aside from Brazilian centre-back Luca Mendonça, who will play both halves. He starts in front of new signing Alex Bass. The goalkeeper learned of Peterborough's interest on his wedding day last Saturday. The next day, he had committed to join the club. Harley Mills was the man of the match in the Posh's EFL trophy retention last season, scoring and assisting at Wembley. But the main goal threat is expected to be Swedish striker Gustav Lindgren up front. Well, just under 500 supporters here at the training ground. Usually games at Seagrave in pre-season are played behind closed doors. Not the case today. 499 lucky supporters will be able to take in the action. Peterborough wearing their away kit, and you'll notice no numbers on the back of the shirts either. Commentator's nightmare. So a perfect time to say welcome to Mark Albrighton, who's legged it back up here to the gantry. Afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Nice to be here. Nice to be back at the training ground and see some old faces again, and old faces in some big positions as well at the football club now. So it's exciting.
Before we get started today, we are going to observe a minute's silence after the tragic news earlier this week at the loss of Liverpool forward Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva, who were taken far too soon. A minute's silence will begin and end on the referee's whistle. A moment of respect and a reminder of just how precious and fragile life can be. The thoughts of everyone at Leicester City and Peterborough United with the family and loved ones of Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva. There are match officials, James Bell, who will be assisted by Matt Smith and Andrew Dallison. Fourth official today is Charlie King, and smiles on faces at the moment. You'll see Ricardo there, who's captaining City in this first half with the pennant in his hand. Those smiles, though, Mark, might turn to grimaces after a few minutes. Running on the training pitches is very different to match experience.
Yeah, I think the first game is always about getting your second wind. I think obviously the first week of pre-season is always a testing week, so they're coming to the end of it now. This is the sort of finisher, if you like, of that tough first week back, and but they'll be looking forward to getting minutes in the legs, back on a pitch, and seeing where they're at in terms of their fitness levels.
We always hear, don't we, at the start of every pre-season that it's more about minutes in legs, but as a former professional yourself, these lads, as soon as the whistle goes, they'll want to win as well. I know it's about fitness, but there's no other feeling like winning.
Yeah, of course. You want to win games, and it's important to get that competitiveness back after the summer, because you do switch off for a couple of weeks, but it is mainly about fitness levels and getting as much training and fitness, running and different things back into your mind and your body.
Almost ready to get underway here in Seagrave. Leicester will be back here in a week's time to take on Leuven of Belgium, but for now it's Peterborough United and the opening contest of 25-26's pre-season preparations. Plenty of experienced faces in and amongst the Leicester ranks. Plenty of youngsters as well, including Evans. Marcel. This is Coley. It's alongside Nelson at centre-half for the first 45 minutes. Nelson, a player who did have some time on loan in the Championship with Oxford United, a newly promoted team in 24-25. Made a handful of games there. Coley, of course, just his second season in England after arriving last summer from Italy. Here's Luke Thomas. Now Coley. Marcel. We speak about some of the young players that will be involved in this pre-season game. How influential will it be for them to be around the first team, not only in the pre-season environment, but also towards the end of last season? We saw Jake Evans making his Premier League debut. Jeremy Monger is expected to feature in the second half. The more experience these young lads can have with the senior players, that will do them the world of good.
It is so important, and obviously they've also got Andy King. They've had Andy King this week as well in charge of them, and that will help them. Is excellent with the young players.
Opportunity maybe for Peterborough, put behind by Okoli. So the first corner goes to the visitors. Peterborough chairman Darren McAntony has been talking about learning from the mistakes that were made last summer. Successful campaign in terms of silverware with that EFL trophy, but an 18th place finish for Posh in League One, certainly below their lofty standards. Corner swung in and Okoli is there again. Kept alive by Peterborough. Away by Thomas. This is Michael Golding, who's looked impressive in pre-season training so far. Marcel gets it out of his feet. Evans, the sole character through the centre. Marcel turns back. Ricardo to the feet of Skip. How important is rhythm in the early stages of these games?
Yeah, I think as a player, you just want as many touches as possible, as early as possible, just to feel your way into the game. And you can tell that some of these players just want the ball. They want to make safe passes early on, and just get their eye in, get used to the pitch again, get used to opposition and playing against opposition. And that's what it's about. It's about managing yourself, managing the ball when you've got it. And then when the time's right, then you look to attack.
Well, Leicester start their championship season against Sheffield Wednesday. And it's a trip to Huddersfield in the Carabao Cup. 4 games on the road at Preston North End and Charlton. It's also a home clash with Coventry to look forward to early on in the season as well. And the referee sees that as a foul from Luke Thomas. Yeah, Peterborough free kick. Johnston takes for Peterborough. You said, Mark, that you had spoken to Kingy yesterday and that he's enjoyed the challenge of preparing this group for this game.
Yeah, he said he's had a good week. Yeah, I gave him a call last night to see how he's got on, and obviously wish him the best of luck for today. But it's somebody like Andy King. Is the way he is, the type of person he is. He's always going to succeed in whatever it is that he does. He works hard at everything that he does. So he's the perfect man to be able to step in early on in pre-season and get smiles on faces during what's a difficult week.
Here's Nelson. And Mendonça for Peterborough. Possession been shared so far in the opening salvo of this one. No goals to speak of just yet. No real chances either. Probably to be expected in the early knockings of pre-season. Well defended by Wanya Marcel. How important is it that there is a sense of enjoyment about the work as well when you come back for pre-season after, as you say, what's been a difficult 12 months for the club?
Yeah, I think that's the case in anything you do. I think you have to enjoy what you do to get the best out of it. And if these lads can work hard this week, as we've heard they have done, and next week, and then obviously the trip to Austria as well coming up. if they could put the work in and enjoy it at the same time, they're going to get more out of it. So it's definitely important, because I think that's a theme for the season as well. You want to enjoy training sessions, you want to enjoy coming in every day.
Well stood up by Luke Thomas. It's behind for another Peterborough corner. Well, Luke Thomas, who passed 100 games for the club towards the end of last season. 5 years this month since he made his professional debut in the Premier League. That was against Sheffield United, a club he would later go on to play for on loan. Once again, Okoli, a towering figure in there defensively for Leicester. Be able to hear the breeze rustling through. To breeze their way through the centre there, but no trouble for Jakub Stolacic in the Foxes' goal. Generally a very windy place, and a very cold place as well, Seagrave. You're nodding your head.
Yeah.
You'll know as well as anyone how chilly it can get here.
We've had some training sessions over the time that we've been here where it's been very wind affected. It's been difficult to do what's been asked of at times because of the wind, particularly set piece sessions. It's been very difficult on some occasions, but this isn't windy at all compared to some of the times that I've seen over the years.
I do sometimes wonder if the residents of Seagrave have ever experienced temperatures above 15 degrees. It never seems to get warm here, ever.
No, I did leave my house this morning and it was lovely weather. No breeze at all, so it's to be expected coming here though.
Marcel looked bright so far, both going forward and tracking back. Was on loan at De Graafschap last season in the Dutch second division. Nelson, Ricardo, back from Winks. Winks can open himself up a little bit. And Steffi Mavadidi, who's beyond a couple, and Golding will cross. Skip. It's going to drop for Wanya Marcel, back onto his left and firing over the first shot of this afternoon. But positive play from Leicester.
Yeah, very positive. Steffi Mavadidi down his left hand side there looked really sharp, looking to take players on, looking to go forward. It's his first thought in his head. I think that's something that he'll be looking to do this season, just be as positive as possible and commit defenders, because that's when he's at his best, and then he finds the pass when he gets to the end of it, and just couldn't keep the shot down there, Wanya. But it was certainly a good move.
12 goals and 6 assists in Leicester's championship title-winning campaign for Steffi Mavadidi. Fox's corner. Ollie Skip looking for the cutback. Signed from Spurs last summer, of course, Oliver Skip. Just the 10 Premier League starts last season. Sure will be hoping to play a bigger role this time around. Swung in towards the near post by Luke Thomas and thrashed behind by Peterborough. Evans lets it run across his body. Winks checks his shoulder, sees Golding there. Mavadidi asking for it. Here's Okoli. Marcel. Mavadidi's made a dart. There's the heart of the box. It was headed away by Carl Johnston, the Peterborough captain. Not too convincingly, but in the end it's in the arms of Alex Bass. Just see Leicester starting to tick into gear now.
Yeah, again, Steffi with a great run from outside to in. Harry Winks trying to just click one over the top to find his run. Defender does well, but it's positive, and these are the things that they'll look to be enforcing so early on in the pre-season. They'll be working on this already. Different movements, different patterns of play. So if they can put them into practice as soon as possible, then it'll stand you in good stead.
Well, Ricardo bundled to the ground. No decision from referee James Bell. So, the feet of Okoli. Looking to spring Wanya Marcel free. Can't keep the ball in play. Well, Leicester fans will rack up more than 5,000 miles if they travel to every single Championship away game this season. And with the Huddersfield Cup game thrown in, that's the same distance from King Power Stadium to the Las Vegas Strip. Coventry the closest, Swansea the furthest. They'll be there. Yeah. I don't mean Las Vegas. I mean Swansea and Coventry.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, when we played in the Championship a couple of years ago, the fans enjoyed some really good away days there. So hopefully this season can be the same, and they can get to as many games as possible, and in their numbers, which they always do, and create a fantastic atmosphere.
Flag up against Wanya Marcel. How different is that from a player's perspective, going from weekend football in the Premier League to Saturday, Tuesday, more often than not in the Championship, where you do have more games and more teams?
Yeah, I think it's obviously different. I don't think you think about it too much as a player. There's probably less training sessions because you're playing more games. So sometimes if the calendar is a bit congested, you tend not to train as much, and it's more about sort of games and recovery more than anything. So it's good. Like every player wants to play football matches. So the more games there are, the better for the players.
It's a lovely take from Abadidi. He's burst his way through a couple and another. Well, recycled by Skip. Sliding in was Winks to
Go on.
keep this possession alive. Marcel, he's probably been the heaviest in terms of involvement for Leicester players so far. Leicester bench just asking for a bit more zip in terms of the ball speed. 16-year-old Evans finds Marcel, who's offside again.
Yeah, great play leading up to that though. Starts with Ben Nelson. You can hear the Leicester bench applauding the pass between the lines and the strength of the pass, which ultimately starts that move off, and then it's a case of some quick one-touch football in and around the final third that leads to the ball going wide.
Mendonça. A risky pass. Leicester have managed to capitalise.
Yeah, good pressing. That's the other side of the game. When you haven't got the ball, everyone working, everyone pressing high. If you can win the ball back high up, gives you a good opportunity.
Holy has the freedom of the centre circle. some time in Marbella this summer, Caleb Okoli. 19 Premier League games for him last season. Once again, some room for Wanya Marcel here. Skip. Coley. Receives it from Winks. Well, plenty of patience on display from Leicester City. Peterborough locked in this defensive shape at the moment. Here's Lingard for Peterborough, expected to be one of their main threats this season. Described by Chairman Darren McAntony as one of, if not the best finisher at the football club. Five players through the door so far for the visitors this transfer window. One of them on the ball now, Alex Bass. Some players who Posh have been chasing since last autumn. Also been some high-profile departures. Kwame Poku to QPR, Malik Mothersill to Stockport. Emmanuel Fernandez has also departed. The club say that they're actively looking to add 2 or 3 more to the group before the end of the summer. Nice line-splitting pass from Harry Winks, and Golding looked to do the same, but just a bit too heavy for Evans.
Yeah, good idea. Again, it's a strong pass through the lines in this middle third that starts it all off. If you're going to pass the ball around slowly, it needs to, at some point, be hit with a bit of tempo and show some intent, and that's what the last couple of times has happened.
I think that's key, isn't it? When you're moving the ball slowly, it's all about when does the quick one come? When can you sharpen up the tempo, to use your word, and catch your opponent by surprise?
You have to wait for that opportunity. You have to be patient now because teams set up so well. They set up with great structure and discipline in their positional play. So yeah, you have to be patient and wait for that opportunity.
Good to see Ricardo out there and wearing the captain's armband. Missed a lot of last season with a hamstring injury. Just 4 starts in the Premier League for the Portuguese. Wasn't able to complete a full 90 minutes. Of course, now with Jamie Vardy moving on, he's one of Leicester's longest serving players, Ricardo Pereira.
Yeah, Ricardo's been a fantastic servant to this football club in his time here so far, and he's had his troubles through injury, and but when he has been fit, he's an incredible footballer with bags of ability. But even when he's been injured, the work that he puts in, that people probably don't see, his commitment to getting back fit is second to none, and his mentality with the injuries that he's had to go through. He's shown great strength mentally to be able to recover time and time again.
And Ricardo's been giving us a glimpse into what life is like during pre-season as a Leicester City player, with a pre-season diary which you can find on the official City social channels. Double sessions for the first week of pre-season. Swapping the practice pitches for what they call the show pitch here in Seagrave. And currently no goals to split either Leicester City or Peterborough United. Best chance has fallen the Foxes' way. Wanya Marcel firing over. Aside from that, there's been plenty of control and possession, just yet to craft a few more chances.
Yeah, I think especially in the middle of midfield with Harry Winton and Ricardo Pereira coming in, and Oliver Skip as well getting involved. Some of the one-touch passing has been very nice, and they've created some opportunities. I've just put the curse on that there, but yeah, it's looked very good in these opening parts.
Mavididi. Big switch towards Marcel. Skips ahead of the young Portuguese and out for a throw. Well, these two sides did face off here in pre-season 2 years ago. That game was behind closed doors. But supporters here at the training ground this time around. Posh were 2-1 winners in that friendly, July 2023. Guess who scored the Leicester goal? Ricardo Pereira, the man we were just talking about.
Yeah, I do remember that game. After
should have let you answer, really.
Yeah,
should have said, guess who, and then gave you the answer straight away.
But no, it was obviously with Enzo Maresca had been recently appointed the manager, and we had done a lot of work in that opening week on the way he wanted to play tactically, and it was a game that was really looking forward to getting out, and I was looking forward to seeing how his ideas were going to be implemented. Obviously it didn't work too well on the day, we're still adjusting, but over the course of the season we managed to get promoted, and it was down to that style of play, but it was certainly something that we was excited about playing.
City promoted as champions, 97 points the last time they were a championship team. Just one defeat in the first 14 league games. That was a great platform to build from in the early going of the campaign.
Yeah, we did get off to a great start that campaign, and I think it always helps, and obviously it's not all going to go smoothly throughout the course of a season, no matter what league you're in, but if you can get off to a good start, it gives you a great platform.
A look of disgust on the face of Darren Ferguson, the Peterborough United manager. Wasn't happy with the way his side were building up there. In his fourth stint now as Posh boss. 4 promotions with the club, 3 EFL trophies, including in the last 2 seasons back to back. Certainly has a bond with this football club, no question. Nelson. Such an attractive pass to Wanya Marcel. Marcel drives it across the face of goal. It's more like it from Leicester City.
Yeah, fantastic bit of play, a bit more direct with the long diagonal from Ben Nelson over to Wanya Marcel. And Wanya does really well there, cuts inside, plays a lovely ball across the front, just asking someone to tap it in.
Plenty of bodies still in the area. It was just about kept in by Mavididi. So throw goes Leicester's way. I saw long throws cause some issues for opposition teams in the Premier League last season. Distinctly remember the game at the City ground against Nottingham Forest where long throws were making an impact.
Yeah, I think it is a weapon if it's used in the right way. It can cause a lot of disruption to a defence. So if you've got it, then it's always good to utilise.
Especially, as you say, with the way that teams structure themselves and set up these days, it can be so difficult to break down. Any margin you can find, it's worth utilising.
Yeah, I think all set pieces in the game now are so important, and there's so much detail that you need to put into them. Because, like you say, it is hard to break down teams because everybody's so disciplined and structured in what they do. They work hard on that out of positional play.
Marcel once again with the ball at feet for Leicester. Tried to find Navadidi, who had a pocket of space on the edge of that 18-yard box. Here's Gustav Lindgren for Peterborough. The foul given. The Swedish centre forward brought down. Johnston will take the free kick and get us moving again.
Fuck off, Ryan. Hold on.
Well, Peterborough looking for their first opportunity. It won't come now. Calmly done by Okoli. Winks can't feed Anya Marcel. Peterborough with a spell of pressure. Stepping in is Ricardo and dealing with the danger. It's well played from Ricardo Pereira.
Yeah, again, does that so well. He's the ball at his feet, really manages it well, gets out of tight situations and wins his team a free kick there, and are able to settle down and build up another attack.
Well, Leicester did face League One opposition in pre-season last year, Shrewsbury Town. It's a 2-1 win. Yet to have the first goal here in Seagrave. There's a nice first pass to start the move for Peterborough. Second one couldn't find its mark. Well, it's Thomas. Clever first touch from Navadidi. It's it back off of Winks. Okoli. Peterborough really starting to chase and pressure. Navadidi. He's just too good, isn't he? There's the free kick.
Yeah, I think both wingers have looked sharp in this opening sort of half an hour or so, and both look positive. Both want to take their man on and get balls into the box or 1-2s. It's good to see.
Golding looking to swivel away. Now Thomas. Marcel. One back by Peterborough. Foul this time from Ricardo. Some tactical tweaks taking place. Really in and amongst it here. Seagrave, dugouts down below us. Here's the goalkeeper, Bess. Winks can't pinch it. Thomas gets the touch. Opportunity for Johnston. Moves it inside. Gustav Lindgren was the target. Golding's done well. Still it's Peterborough who have it. Nevitz. Mendonça. Half Brazilian, half Italian centre-back, Luca Mendonça. Expected to play in both halves for Peterborough today. Sends it back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, this is the only, I think, the first or second time that I've seen Jake Evans, but he does put himself about. He's quite physical. He likes a battle. He's only been young, coming up against grown men at centre half is a positive sign that he's happy to mix it and work and put them under pressure, because you have to do that as a striker.
Yeah, wearing 65 on his back, Jake Evans. Not 17 until August. Made his Premier League debut in April against Brighton. 11 goals for the under-21s last season, so he'll be very familiar with these surroundings.
Yeah, and it's just a case of him continuing his development now. Obviously, he had a good season last year in the reserves and his own age, so he was able to make the step up, and he needs to. The more he plays with more experienced players, the better he'll become. He needs to stay grounded, keep his attitude of working hard and building on what he's done so far.
And in terms of attributes, Jake Evans not blessed with great height, but we've seen in the Championship over the years that necessarily doesn't always translate to being a top goal scorer. Someone like Connor Chaplin at Ipswich, for example, diminutive, but has many goals in the division to show for it.
Yeah, I think the game has changed quite a lot as we watch this attack.
Breaks down in the end. Leicester still trying to get it fully clear. Johnston thrashes a shot goalwards, drops at the feet of Winks. Skip harassed by a couple of those bogey green shirts. Draws applause from the 499 players inside Seagrave as Skip goes over with a yelp under the challenge, and the referee very quickly blows his whistle, and Skip very quickly is hoisted back to his feet.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the scream from Oliver Skip there, I must admit. It looked a nasty one. He does run it off, just get up straight away. But yeah, good football, good initial play by Skip to navigate the ball out of a tight situation. And again, they get the free kick and they're able to build up again.
Just interesting that Leicester have almost started to rotate with Mavididi and Golding on this near side. Golding in possession at the moment. Mavididi's moved into a more central position. I think the two of them will just swap in terms of making runs beyond the other. Doesn't work on this occasion, but you can see the plan.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think obviously you can tell Andy King's shouting a lot of messages and trying to get a lot of messages onto the pitch to the players and give them different ideas. We're saying that they are still a young group. In Jake Evans, Michael Golding, they are still young, so they're learning the game. So Kingy down in the dugout is a great person for them to learn from and get ideas. So it looks to me like they're taking everything that's being said to them on board and trying to implement different patterns of play.
Nelson, Coley, Marcel, who has been slightly quieter in the last 10 minutes or so. Golding. Well, he's done well, Michael Golding here. Another Posh player comes across to greet him. This is Evans. Winks. McCauley linking up. Marcel, once again in that 1v1 situation. Skip offers support. Winks might look to cross. Instead it's the short ball. McCauley dropping back into that centre half region. Thomas. Mavadidi can't get beyond Johnston. It's turned into a really useful pass from Luke Thomas. Marcel. Ricardo. Lifted in, but too close to Best to cause any problem.
Yeah, I think when Harry Winks gets the ball there and he looks up, and that's probably the one thing that there's not a lot of bodies in the box for him to put the ball in. He has to come back, play short and play round, but it's like I say, it's the first pre-season game. They'll be getting ideas, getting different methods in, and that's something that they'll probably look to work on sort of later on in pre-season.
Peterborough goalkeeper Alex Best, they're hoping he's a signing which will bring some stability between the sticks. There wasn't always consistency in that position last season. Jed Steer has moved on to be close to his family. Bass, statistically one of the better goalkeepers in League Two last term, arriving from Notts County. Peterborough, they say that they're only 1 or 2 pieces away from completing their rebuild. There has been quite a high turnover of players at London Roads in the last couple of years. High profile names that have been successful with the club that have moved on to pastures new. I think defensively is an area which Peterborough really do need to look to improve. Only Crawley and Plymouth shipped more goals in the entire EFL than the 80 times that Posh conceded last season. Fragility from set pieces a real issue for Darren Ferguson. Golding has some room. Slightly lazy pass to Evans, but it might still get to the youngster. It's just those little moments, isn't it, at the moment, Mark, which aren't quite settling for Leicester, but I suppose that's what pre-season's all about. Yeah, absolutely. I think they're just getting to build relationships with each other on the pitch, and so a lot of these players probably haven't played together too much. What we spoke about, Jake Evans just coming into the fold sort of at the end of last season, and Michael Golding as well. So it's about learning each other's way of playing, and trying to find out what they like to do, and where they like the ball, what areas. But I think the middle third, the build-up has been very good. I think that some of the one-touch passing and the little sequences have been very good. I think that's an important point as well, because as much as these Leicester teammates will all know each other, they won't all have played with each other. The example being McCauley and Nelson, Coley was with the first team last season, whilst Ben Nelson spent a fair amount of time out on loan, so it's not always guaranteed that, even though the players are familiar with each other, that they would have played many games together.
Yeah, and obviously the lads that have been out on loan have been asked to play in a certain way for the manager that they was playing for. Obviously, you come back to your parent club, or you come to a different club, and that's different again. You might be asked to play in a completely different way. So it's just getting used to it, and then obviously along with that is the fitness levels that you're still trying to build up.
Tidy work from Harry Winks, and in amongst all of that, it's untidy from Jakub Stolacic. Ricardo was there to bail him out. How nice was that? Sweetly done from Wanya Marcel. This is Jake Evans, looking to get the run on Nevin. Into the feet of Skip. It's going to be set here for Thomas. Oh, drives it goalwards, but there was always backspin and lift on it, and over the crossbar it goes.
Yeah, Wanya Marcel over that far side, lovely feet, lovely bit of skill to create that opportunity. I think when it comes to Luke, I did expect a little bit better. He's got a lovely left foot. Just doesn't get it right that time.
Could feel you winding up next to me.
Yeah, with excitement. I'll definitely pull him about that one after.
Mavadidi. Eye to eye with Johnston. A couple of other green shirts in there as well. They do enough to clear it away and win the free kick to Peterborough United.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity there. Steffi finds himself one-on-one down his left-hand side, and again looking to be positive on this occasion. Doesn't work out, it's going to happen, but he, like I said earlier on in commentary, his strength is taking players on and being positive, and I'd like to see him do a lot of that this season.
Mendonça.
Brilliant ball, Luca.
Lindgren's through here, the flag is up, and the goal won't count.
Time to run, Gustav.
See here, Mendonça just over halfway, playing the ball around the corner. Nelson had stepped up, and the decision was vindicated when the flag was raised.
Well on, boys.
But that's half-time. First 45 minutes of pre-season completed for Leicester City. No goals to speak of against League One side Peterborough United, but plenty of bright points and bright performances. Wanya Marcel has looked good over on the right-hand side. Okoli and Nelson have marshalled things well at the back, and Jake Evans as well getting some minutes in and around the first team as he did at the end of last campaign. But for now, in pre-season, at half-time in Seagrave, Leicester City 0, Peterborough United 0.
Declares Leicester City champions. There's a few banners actually in the players. To signal that Leicester are straight back up to the Premier League.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Well, welcome back to Seagrave. It's half time here in Leicester's first pre-season game of the summer. It is currently 0-0 against Peterborough. As you can see next to me, we've swapped out Mark Albrighton for a, don't tell him, younger version. We've got Casey McAteer here with us. Casey, you obviously only returned, didn't you, from pre-season yesterday, alongside a number of the other lads who have been away on international duty. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I mean, it's always nice to get back in and see the boys again. Obviously, day one of pre-season is always tough, so yesterday was very tough, and double session, and got another session in today. But you know, it's about getting fitness in this period and pushing. That's what the boys will be doing today, aren't they?
We can't go any further without talking about your international duty in the summer, because there was a very proud moment for you, wasn't there? A first goal for your country, Ireland. Talk us through that.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I was buzzing to get the first start under my belt and to top it off with a goal as well. My family were in the stands as well, where I scored, so I ran over to them with my celebration, and yeah, they were delighted. But just to get off the mark internationally and scoring, it's just stuff for dreams, you know. Hopefully, many more to come. Yeah,
well,
sure.
It was some couple of weeks for you, really, wasn't it? Because you scored in the Varda game, if you like, the last home game of the season against Ipswich, getting your first goal at home. Premier League goal scorer, and then 2 weeks later you're away with your country and you score at home in front of your home fans there as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it just shows what confidence can do when you're playing football, you know. After a run of games, I felt like my confidence was growing, and like you say there, scoring on Vard's day was obviously really good as well, and then it just carried on into international duty, and yeah, like I touched on there, it's about building confidence. As the more you play, and the more confidence means you play better, so yeah, it's always good to do that as well. Yeah.
So how excited does that make you coming back now? You have enjoyed some time away, obviously, and got away, whether that's with family or however, and enjoyed yourself, but actually you've always been working hard. That's what everyone does these days, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, you never really switch off from it. It's we don't really, the guys here, they say it's an off season. You know, you're not fully switched off. You're having a break, obviously, with your family and your friends, and rightly so, you need a break from it, you know, mentally, physically. But in the back of your mind, you're always thinking about day one of pre-season and coming back.
But because of that couple of weeks you had, you must have been raring to come back.
Yeah, I almost didn't want to stop, you know, because obviously it was all coming so quick and so fast. I didn't really want to stop. But yeah, like I say, it's just about building up again and looking into the future and trying to get myself in the best physical shape and mental shape as well. So that's all it's about in this period of pre-season. And that's what, like I say before, that's what the boys will be doing out there today, getting the minutes in their legs. Not so much about the result today, it's about getting, you know, the minutes in their legs, and the boys will feel it after the game, and that's what we want. So
yeah, it isn't about the result, it is about the fitness today. We haven't seen too much goal mouth action for us to actually talk about in that first half, but that's because both sets of players are in the same boat, really, aren't they, in that sense?
Yeah, definitely. We're in the same boat, as you say, and like I say, it's about getting the minutes in the legs. And you know, you've got some young faces out there, like young Jake up front as well. He deserves to have his start today. Obviously, he'll be buzzing to get out there as well, so hopefully we can see more of him. I would say in the second half, obviously it's changed in half time, ain't it? But yeah, it's nice to see, and obviously the young boys are getting some minutes as well, so that's really great to see as well.
What has obviously you were only here yesterday, and then this morning you've seen a few of the lads, but it's a little bit different, obviously, because they're playing this game today. But do you feel you've come into a group that's like happy at the moment? The vibes that I get every day here at Seagrave is that training's intense, the players are actually buzzing to be here, and it feels like a good group at the minute.
Yeah, definitely, and it's, you know, it's been driven by Kingy this week. Even when I wasn't in, I could see that the boys are working hard. You know, the things I see on social media and stuff, you can tell that the boys are really driven to it, you know. And like I say, Kingy's really been pushing that, so that's great. And then coming in and joining the group, you can see it from day one that I've been in, and the boys who've returned yesterday have been in. There's a real, you know, focus and dedication towards this first week of pre-season, and that'll be ongoing as well throughout the whole of pre-season. So it's been a great environment to come back into, and hopefully we can just keep adding to that as we go on.
And you enjoyed your SDS test yesterday on your first day back?
I wouldn't say enjoy it, no. It's just more than just getting through it. That's what it's all about. Day one of pre-season, SDS test. Got through it, so did all the boys, so it's always good to get out of the way, yeah.
Well, if you want an explainer on what the SDS test is, then you can go onto the website, you can go onto YouTube as well. Matt Reeves, our fitness and conditioning coach, has spoken through what the test is on the first day of pre-season that the players go through. There's plenty of other features as well available for you on the website and on YouTube as well, including catch-ups in the box. Both James Justin and Jakub Stolarczyk this week have been in the box to talk about this first week back at pre-season.
Ready to get back to work. Obviously you want to prove yourself against your peers and show how much work you've been doing, get Leicester back to where they're supposed to be.
Nice to be back doing what I love, and I think everyone's come back fresh and you can see it. Now it's all about just putting things right going into this season and making the most of it.
You kind of reset mentally and get around your family and friends and have a chill, and then start doing your work towards the start of pre-season, and happy to be back in.
I had a good break, but it's nice to be back doing what I love, and yeah, I was eager last week or so. I was eager to come back and start working and having the ball in my hands again. There's still things obviously that I need to get back to, timing and all the little details that we always work on during the pre-season to get back to. But I do feel like I'm in a good shape. I've come back in a good shape, and yeah, I'm happy where I am right now, and all I'm going to be doing now is just working hard to be in the best possible form when the season kicks in.
It's a lot of profiling and setting your baselines and comparing them against previous scores and previous pre-seasons, and so making sure you're at a good place, ready to perform when you get on the pitch. Ever since I joined Leicester, the run has been the biggest thing. It's the SDS. Obviously you want to prove yourself against your peers and show how much work you've been doing over the off-season. It's always nice to show the coaching staff and your peers all of the work you're putting is paying dividends.
The lads have been on it. Everyone's come back fresh. Everyone wants to prove themselves, and yeah, just work hard to be in the best shape possible when the season kicks on. We all kind of come back with the feeling that you want to get this club back up to where it deserves to be, and we had to reflect. Obviously we had a time off where we all reflected on it, reflected on last season, and now it's all about just putting things right going into this season and making the most of it.
Obviously we're in a similar situation a couple of years ago, and it's the same sort of atmosphere around the dressing room and feeling in the squad of the eagerness to put in a good performance throughout the rest of the season and get Leicester back to where they're supposed to be.
Yes, that was Jakub Stolarczyk and James Justin both speaking in the box there. There's plenty more available for you on the website and on YouTube as well. And as we said earlier, we are just over a month away now from the start of the Championship season. Just like when we were in the Championship a few seasons ago, Fox's Hub will provide coverage of every single game this season, with a number of the matches available for you to watch as well. There's an early bird offer there for international customers to buy a seasonal pass. There's also a Listen Live pass available to listen to every single game this season. For more information, all you need to do is head to lcfc.com. Casey is still with me. Casey, we've just been having a look, haven't we, at the group of lads that have just played. They're doing their warm downs here. The lads are preparing now the second 45-minute group. There's exciting players in that team, just like there was the first. It's been a nice mix, but as we've said a number of times, it is about that fitness. Every player getting 45 minutes. How much different is it, we asked Mark this earlier, to play in a game to fitness just in training?
Yeah, it's different. It's a different kind of fitness. You can never really replicate a game situation in training. I mean, you can push and you can do loads of different drills in training, but when you're on that pitch, it's a completely different kind of fitness. You can never predict how many sprints you're going to do, how many axial details. You never know how it's going to be in a game. So the boys out there that have obviously just played, they'll be feeling that for sure, because I've been there and you can definitely feel it in the first 45 for sure. And obviously the first game being back as well, they'll definitely feel it. But that will build fitness, that will build confidence as well, and take that into the next coming games in pre-season. And everyone getting 45 means that everyone's still at the same level, and the coaching staff can analyse that and keep everyone on the right track.
Yeah, we spoke about your excitement, obviously, over the summer to be back, and just watching this today, even just seeing the pitches, are you thinking, yeah, next week I'll be back, this will be me again?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's nothing better than playing football. It's a sport we all love, and it's a job that we can all say we're really proud to have. So yeah, definitely looking forward to getting back on the pitch, because it's nothing better than playing football games and apart from training. But yeah, next week hopefully we can get myself back out there. Yeah.
Yeah, but what have you heard from the other lads? Obviously, having come in yesterday, spoken to a few today, I'm presuming in the week you'd spoken to the likes of Luke and JJ, obviously with them being back in the week earlier. Again, they've probably spoken to you about what we heard JJ talking about on the VT there, about how it's been a really good week.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what everyone's saying, I think you can see that training looks like it's a real, high intensity. I know King's been using that word about intensity all week, and as soon as we came back in on the first day yesterday, we had a meeting, and it was, words and intensity, togetherness, encouragement. Everyone pushing each other, and that's what it's all about. If I can push my teammate better, I'm going to get better, and vice versa. So yeah, it's been a good week, and something that's been very good to join on to.
Yeah, and I guess even like, for example, the SDS test, that at the end of it becomes a competitive thing, doesn't it? Because then it's, you want to prove to the coaches that you're in a better shape than every single one of your teammates.
Yeah, definitely, and that's pushing your teammates as well, because you want to win the SDS, you want to do as well as you can, and when that last run comes and you're all sprinting for the finish line, it's everyone's pushing each other, and obviously that's really good for the coaches to see, because they can see how fit we are and how competitive we are as teammates. So the more I can push my teammate, the better. So yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, as we can see now, the lads who are in the first 45 minutes are clapping the support. It's great to see actual fans here at Seagrave. The first time they will have been for a men's fixture, albeit in pre-season, but yeah, great to see the supporters, of course.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, it's been a few weeks we ain't seen them, so it's nice to get them here at the training ground, and obviously there we just saw the boys giving their appreciation to them coming to watch us today. So yeah, hats off for them to coming out. Hopefully they could be ahead of a good second 45 minutes.
Yep, just a final point then for you, Casey, before we hand over to the commentary team. The lads are out there, they're on the pitch behind us, they're ready to go. Again, about the fitness, but it would be nice to try and start pre-season off with a win, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you want to play to win, some of the boys, they won't see it as a friendly game. It's a game of football, and you want to win every game that you play. But it is about remembering it. It's just for the fitness, but to get the win will be a very good result for us as well. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much for joining us, Casey. We'll hand you back to our commentary team now. Mark Albrighton is alongside Niall McCorn.
Dan, thank you. Nice to hear from Casey McAteer, especially after scoring that first Republic of Ireland goal during the recent international break. Plenty of applause inside Seagrave as well for those players that have made way, and for those players that have come on to a full quota switch. We were expecting two different teams, and that's exactly what we've got. So Stevie Borza is in goal. Jaden Joseph and Louis Page, two youngsters also involved, along with Justin, Cody, Christiansen, Sumare, Alves, and Aluko, Monga and Thomas are also coming on. Plenty of fresh faces, some of which will be more familiar than others. The likes of Jeremy Monga, just 15 years of age, turns 16 on Thursday. And the scary thing is, when he was playing here at Seagrave for the under-21s last season, we figured out he's still eligible for the next 6 years to play for the under-21s. Not a bad pace at 15 to be playing Premier League football.
Yeah, obviously it comes with a lot of excitement. There's a lot of hype about him at the minute. I think at his young age it's easy to read into that, but I think he needs, as long as he's got the people around him, keep him grounded, keep him working hard, and keep him on the right path to fulfil his potential, because you can definitely see that the ability is definitely there.
I think that's crucial, isn't it? The quality will take care of itself. It's just about ensuring that the load is managed. He is still only 15, as we say. So it's important to make sure you don't overload his body at such a young age, and also just gradually getting him used to this environment, because the day after the Nottingham Forest game. It was a Sunday at the City Ground, 2-2 draw in the Premier League at the end of last season. The next morning he had his maths GCSE. This is how young this man is that we're talking about.
Yeah, and it's difficult because football is a brutal world, and it won't all be plain sailing for him. He's having a really good spell now, but he's going to go through difficult times, and it's dealing with them difficult times mentally, and when you're at such a young age, that's sometimes hard to do. So, like I say, he needs good people around him, which he's got here. I'm sure his family are very supportive and will help him a lot as well. So it's something that he's going to need going forward.
Well, Jeremy Onga, one of a whole host of changes as the team switches up for this second half in pre-season, joined by under-21 teammates Silko Thomas, Bade Aluko, Jaden Joseph, Louis Page, and in goal Stevie Borsa. And the experience comes in the form of James Justin, Uba Sumare, Victor Christensen, and Connor Cody, who paid tribute to his friend and former teammate Diogo Jota, who he won the championship alongside in 2018. He called him one of the best he's ever shared a pitch with. Thinking of him and many others over the last couple of days. Peterborough with a full switch up as well, aside from Luca Mendonça, the centre half, who will play this batch of 45 minutes as well. Chris Conclark, Archie Collins, new signing Brandon Kaler, Kyrell Lisby, another fresh face. They're all involved in this second 45 for Peterborough United as we're back underway here in Seagrave. First couple of touches for Bade Aluko, and they draw a free kick for Leicester City. It's a lovely forward pass. Pushed goalwards by Jaden Joseph, lively young talent from the under-21 ranks.
Yeah, good ball over the top there, and that's again just mixing the game up a little bit. So in the first half it was very much short passes in the middle of the park with Harry Winks, Ricardo Pereira, Oliver Skip. That's a bit more direct. Connor Cody going straight over the top. Good run by Joseph there to get on the end of it.
Interesting to see Bade Aluko playing as a right-sided centre-half. Here he is, 56 on his back for Leicester City. Generally has played more as a fullback during his time in the Leicester Academy. Of course, with James Justin out there, he will occupy that fullback role and gives Bade an opportunity to get to grips with a slightly different position to what he's been accustomed to over the years.
Yeah, and I think it's good to be able to play in different positions, and obviously he's there today, and he's got James Justin with plenty of experience on the right of him, and Connor Cody on the left of him, who is perfect for him to be able to learn off. Connor will talk him through the game. It'll really help him, and obviously again Kingy on the side here, he can listen and take messages off him.
Good to see the four of them linking up with James Justin there as well, who delivered the ball in towards Silko Thomas, who was on loan at Wigan Athletic last season. 24 League One games. Didn't manage to score a goal, but was named the Under-21s Player of the Season 2 years ago. Arrived at Leicester from Chelsea. He's wearing 39, and Jaden Joseph has 49 on the back of his shirt. And in that move just there, which was flagged as offside, Louis Page wearing number 60. Another youngster was also in the mix. He's been at the club since under 10 level. Aluko steps across. It's Kyrell Lisby, the summer signing for Peterborough from non-league. Look to stretch his legs. Keller. Lisby managed to lift the ball in towards this yard line. Nodded away by Bede Aluko. Keller with the switch for Peterborough. Well, we've not seen too many of those from Peterborough United so far here in Seagrave. First shot in anger, which is unable to test Stevie Borza in the Leicester City goal. Real character, Stevie Borza, the under-21s goalkeeper. Always brings a certain buzz and an energy to the under-21 fixtures that are regularly played here at the training ground. Justin. Silko looking to turn it around the corner. The throw.
It's a good opportunity for these young players. There's a lot of them in this second half team, and got bits of experience around them. But it's a good opportunity for them to come and impress. I think you always, in pre-season, you always do see one or two youngsters that really shine and really take to being around the first team. So as a young player, you want to make sure that you're one of them.
Here's Will Alves, who's a player who's tipped for a very bright future as well. Suare to the feet of James Justin. Frenchman gets it back. Page. Brandon Keller gets a toe in for Peterborough. Chris Con-Clark in the yellow boots moves it into the centre. Excellent goal-scoring record in the National League with Altrincham, which prompted Peterborough United to swoop for him. 23 goals and 12 assists in the 23-24 season for Altrincham. And back by Christensen. Settles for Sumare. This is Louis Page for Leicester City. Jaden Joseph. Big appeals for handball. The referee says nothing doing. Page tries to keep it alive. Driven clear by Peterborough United. Well, hard to tell from our position whether there was a case for handball. Referee made his decision quickly, James Bell.
Yeah, it looked for me like it would be hard for the defender to get out of the way of that one. It was very close proximity, fired at him.
Well, this is the time of year, isn't it, Mark, where you learn about the rule changes. With the regularity that the rules do change sometimes, particularly around handball, wasn't there? There was a spell where the rules were being altered what felt like almost every season. Can it be difficult as players to get on top of exactly what the rulings are? Because I know that you get dragged into a room, don't you, at the start of a season. You're made to sit down and they go through the rule changes with you and the referee directives. But sometimes that can be so hard to get used to if you've been used to doing things a different way for so long before that.
It can be difficult, and I think the thing that you've probably got to learn is not to get too caught up in it, because you could be overthinking it then in games. I think a lot of the rule changes, especially like the handballs and the hustling and bustling at corner kicks and what goes on there, a lot of these sort of go out the window after a couple of months of the season anyway. So and normal service is resumed.
Well, yeah, 2 years ago when Leicester were last in the Championship was the start of making sure that every single second of added time was tacked on to the end of games. I think the first round of Championship fixtures, all but one of the games went over 100 minutes.
Yeah, I remember watching the World Cup in Qatar, and that was very similar. You had a lot of added time on in that, but I think obviously as the game sort of gone since then, it's you don't tend to see that as much, and it's just gone back to how it was.
Aluko. Silko Thomas. This is Cody. Now Christiansen. Tidy turn from Monga. Playing out on the left at the moment, Jeremy Monga. Usually for the under-21s, occupies this near side, right-sided winger. Likes to cut in onto that left foot and try and find the far corner. We've seen him score some special goals by doing that, but I suppose wingers nowadays expected to be able to operate on both sides.
Yeah, and I think that's important, as we say about Aluko as well. Trying different positions. I think so good for Jeremy Monga to learn different positions in that final third, whether it's on the right, the left, more central role. It's you will get more of an opportunity. There will be more opportunities and chances to be able to come in and play if you can play a number of roles. Obviously, every player's got a certain position that is probably their preferred position, but it helps to be versatile as well.
Corral Lisby. Con Clark. Ben Donser will collect this. Lifts it in towards 6-yard area. Well, the flag is up. Not sure whether that was against Bradley Guillaume or Corral Lisby. Decision goes Leicester's way. If you are wondering, Corral Lisby is the son of former Jamaica international Kevin Lisby. Signed a 3-year deal at Posh from Braintree Town this summer. Was Peterborough's first signing of the window. Peterborough chairman Darren McAntony told supporters not to sleep on Lisby. Openly admitted that he is the replacement for the outgoing Malik Mothersill. Out on the left-hand side. Justin. Now Joseph. It's a nice cutback. Page. Just can't get it out of his feet for a shot. Keeps it alive through James Justin from one JJ to another. Jaden Joseph. Now Aluko. Leicester operating solely in the Peterborough half for the time being. Christians wins the foul.
Yeah, good play again. Comes from a long ball over the top from Connor Cody. Just utilising that space in behind the Peterborough defence. He's got runners as well, which I think is important. I think that's going to be an important part of this season, to have runners going in behind and threatening the back line.
Well, aside from the obvious, Mark, which is the fact that this game remains 0-0, can Leicester be pleased with how things have gone so far?
Yeah, I think certain aspects of have been very good. Like I said in the first half, I thought Wanya was brilliant on that right hand side. Wanya Marcel was he was a threat. He was positive, and he looked sharp. I think the lads in the middle of the park as well did very well. The intricate one-touch passing and round corners, the sequences were very good. I think it's obviously a bit early into this second half, but there's good signs already.
Here's Ionvien for Peterborough United. He's managed to break free, tracked by Justin, trying to use his strength to get the ball back, and he's managed to win a free kick. Well done by James Justin. Draws applause from those inside Seagrave, but just for a second, looked as though Peterborough might be in business.
Yeah, again, it's just obviously first game of pre-season. You're learning the gaps and the spaces, especially when you have a lot of the ball as well. It's easy for defenders to switch off when you're playing used to playing so far forward. So it's all just getting it back into the mind and pitch geography, I think they call it these days.
Foul on Justin. Curious case when it comes to Bradley Ionvien, 21 years old, signed from Colchester last summer, but at the end of the season was transfer listed. And boss Darren Ferguson said that he had no future at the football club after just a year, but he's managed to turn things around and has returned with a renewed attitude and has been given the opportunity for the second 45 here against Leicester at Seagrave. Just shows how quickly things can change in this game.
Yeah, I think that sums football up. Things can change in an instant. You never know what's round the corner, and you've always just got to keep working hard, and your opportunity will more than likely come.
Monga. Alves. Well, that's what he can do. Not on target, a long way over the top, in fact, but the ability with the short back lift and very close control to carve an opportunity out of seemingly nothing. Yeah,
Both the young boys linking up there, Jeremy Monga and Will Alves. So it's good to see. Obviously, that have probably played with each other a few times before. So it's good to see them two linking up, little ball inside, and like you say, with Will Alves, his feet and the way that he can move the ball and get a shot off with very little backlift is very special.
Well, he made his Premier League debut against Manchester City in December. Spent the second half of the season on loan in the Championship with Cardiff. Bluebirds ended up being relegated to League One. Cardiff City, the team that Peterborough will face in their opening fixture.
Yeah, I think good experience for Will Alves to have been able to get out and experience sort of men's competitive football for the first time and see what it's all about. I think it will stand him in good stead, and it's going to be a big season for Will, and he's a hard-working lad, so hopefully he'll have a good campaign.
Christiansen's corner headed away by the defending Ionvien. Alves, Justin, Joseph, back in by Justin. Christiansen is there. Aluko can't get a hold of it. Jeremy Monga lurking on the edge of the area. Peterborough unable to scratch it fully clear. Aluko. Monga. Christiansen. Page. Nicely done by Monga. And on he goes. Aluko. Page. Leicester are up and running for pre-season. And it's the young guns who have got them going. Louis Page sweeps into the net. After excellent work from Monga and Alves and others, the Foxes lead by 1-0.
Yeah, fantastic. Just that last 5 minutes or so, you could see them banging on the door. Leicester, they were really putting the pressure on that Peterborough back line, and it's paid off now. Obviously, good feet there by Monga. Looks sharp on that left-hand side. The ball eventually falls for Louis Page. It's gets a good strike off, takes deflection, and finds its way into the back of the net.
Credit to Bade Aluko as well, who was involved in that move forward from centre half, decided to stay in the mix and played his part, but well finished by Louis Page in the end. And from one academy graduate to another, you just got ambushed by Hamza Chowdhury down below us on the gantry. Of course, congratulations to Hamza, scoring his first goal for Bangladesh during the international break as well. Tame header from Perel Lisby, just a little too far behind him, but we will see the players involved in the international break in June returning slowly to Seagrave over the next few days. Some of them have already returned, Hamza being one of them. Not involved in this game, but are likely to be in the mix for the game here in 7 days' time. Customary pre-season friendly against Leuven.
That's the thing as well, in pre-season it's very staggered in when players come back. Obviously internationals and players that were on loan last year have had longer seasons than others, so it is difficult, and it's hard to get any rhythm until you've got the full squad of players back.
Yeah, arriving at Seagrave earlier this morning almost felt like the first day back at school for some people, returning to their place of work. Of course, the players have been in since last week doing double sessions most days, but for staff members to return here after a bit of time away, whether that be on their holidays or just working elsewhere, nice to see smiles on faces. Lisby, Yonvien, good save, Borza. First save that any Leicester keeper has had to make in this game so far. Lofted back in towards the young keeper, and he palms it over the top for a corner. Well, he's not had a great deal to do, but what he has done is stayed focused and kept his team in the game.
Does well on both occasions there, parries that out of danger, and then the second one, it's obviously dangerous, just looping over him, and makes the safe choice and tips it over for a corner.
Away by Aluko. This is Chris Clark for Peterborough. Mendonça moves it on to the goalkeeper, Ulokovic. Mendonça, if he is to play a senior game, which you'd imagine he will, signed pro terms 2 weeks ago at Peterborough, will be the first Brazilian player to ever represent Peterborough United. Nice little milestone for him to aim for. Page, the goal scorer, linking up with Jaden Joseph and James Justin. Here's Aluko, who played his part with the assist. Sumare, now Connor Cody. Taken by Joseph. This is Justin. Silko Thomas. Aluko. Christiansen. Well, one thing Cody has made a career of, whether it be at Leicester or at Wolves or elsewhere, is his ability to lift his head and try and find those searching passes left and right. Oh, it's something he prides himself on, ability to pick balls out from the back.
Yeah, I think you can see in this game already, he's had success with it on 3 or 4 occasions now, and it's certainly a ball that he likes to play and he's very accurate with as well.
Here's Page. Justin. Headed away by Peterborough United as far as Con Clark, who doesn't have a great deal of options ahead of him. Turns back and waits for reinforcements. Also gives Leicester the chance to recede back into their defensive shape. Leicester leading by a goal to nil through the youngster Louis Page. Scored earlier on in this second half. Con Clark goes over. The referee wags his finger. No decision.
Yeah, I think obviously we're a long way from here, but I think that's the right decision as well. I think he knocked the ball too far ahead of him, seen it was going out, and tries to buy the penalty.
We don't usually see match officials issue cards of any kind during pre-season. Just wonder if that was a competitive game. Maybe that might have been slightly different for James Bell, who's in charge of proceedings today.
Yeah, quite possibly, but I do think it's the right thing that you don't get the booking for it.
Nothing to do with a fine by any chance, is it? Free kick to Leicester City this time. Taken short and quickly towards Page. This is James Justin. Full squad rotation at half-time for Andy King, coaching Leicester City this week after the departure of Ruben Nistelrooy. Here's Monga. Now Alves. Well, the roar from the sidelines was for Will Alves to shoot, but unselfishly he looked for the cutback. It's excellent set-up play by Monga, and Alves maybe just needed to trust his ability a touch more in that position.
Yeah, I think he probably could have had a shot on that occasion. He looks for the cutback, but a couple of times he's finding himself in some fantastic positions. He's getting positions with space around him, and he's able to create opportunities from there.
Well, you spoke about Will Alves earlier and the quality and potential that he possesses. It's good to see him back operating at such a high level after a really serious knee injury, which could have ended up far worse than it was. He's recovered well. It's a horrible challenge in an FA Youth Cup game against Wolves, which put him out for a long while. It's easy to feel bitter after a challenge like that, but he's come back with renewed strength and optimism. It's great to see.
Yeah, I think himself, obviously Sammy Braybrook as well, who's on the bench today. He had something similar, both at a time when they were really pushing on in their young careers. It's a setback, but like you say, they've come back and they've worked hard to get back to where they are today.
Christiansen waits to take this corner, which comes as a result of a Peterborough United error. Low towards the near post. Flicked around the corner. Headed on by Aluko. It's returned to the area by Justin. Straight into the arms, though, of the posh keeper Bilokovic. Still Leicester 1, Peterborough United 0 here in pre-season. In competitive fixtures, there have only been 18 meetings between these two sides. The game's split exactly between 20th and 21st centuries. They're also split 50-50 in terms of results. both sides having won 7 apiece, 4 draws. Well, it's given away by Buba Soumare. This is a good chance for Peterborough, and they've struck the outside of the frame of the goal. And Chris Clark can't turn it home either, as it's spun back out to him. Well, Leicester let off the hook there. Soumare let off the hook. It's still 1-0.
Yeah, it's probably a chance that they should be scoring there. Rattles it across the bar. I think, yeah, like you say, Leicester do get away with that one, and it's just in the build-up play, just a little bit sloppy, but it's obviously to be expected at this stage of the season, pre-season. There's going to be mistakes being made.
And there's another one from Borza, who's gifted it straight to Clark, and he needs no second invitation to dispatch into a vacant net and give Peterborough United their equaliser. Well, he's an exciting young prospect, Stevie Borza, and goalkeepers, when you do make mistakes, you are more likely than others to be punished, and that's exactly what Chris Clark did.
Yeah, like I was saying, you're going to get mistakes. Obviously, young players early on in pre-season, it's going to happen. I think when you do make mistakes as a footballer, it's about how you react. We're human. Mistakes are going to happen. They're part and parcel of life, of football. So it's how you deal with that and how you react to that. And hopefully his reaction will be good, and he'll learn from it.
Well, it seems to have lit somewhat of a fire underneath the coaching staff of Peterborough United, really encouraging their players to almost capitalise on a few jitters from maybe the younger members of the Leicester contingent. It's another sloppy one, this time from Louis Page, who was the scorer of the Leicester goal. Corner swung in and just too far ahead of everyone. Behind it goes for a goal kick. Silko Thomas finds Jeremy Monga. Poked in towards Thomas again. Keeper's off his line to scoop up. Just going back to the Peterborough goal, I think it's a debate which has been raging on over the last couple of years, that some managers, some coaches, obviously you don't want to see your players making mistakes, but as long as they're trying to do the right thing in terms of style of play and patterns, then they don't mind it as much. It's when mistakes come, perhaps doing something against the grain, away from what they're used to doing.
Yeah, I think for me there's a balance. I think you don't want to become too obsessed with playing out, as we just watch this build up.
Silko Thomas has gone over. Louis Page is scoring again. Well, Leicester have found their way back in front, and it's through the same young man, Louis Page. Well, there was a nasty challenge on Silko Thomas. The referee decided to play advantage. It was the right decision. Build-up continued on the right-hand side, and it was squared for Louis Page, who just opened his body and steered it into the corner. And it's 2-1.
Yeah, lovely pick out by James Justin there on the right-hand side. Just squares it. And Louis Page just arrives in good time, and it's a lovely finish off his left foot. Lovely finishing right into the corner of that left-hand side. So yeah, it's a very good outing for the young lad.
Gets a thumbs up from his 21's teammate Stevie Borza as well at the other end of the pitch. So Leicester back in front. All 3 goals having come in this second half. A raft of changes for both teams at the break. As you say, a very accomplished finish. Didn't try to hit it too hard as well. I think just used the pace of the ball to guide it into the far corner. Nothing the keeper could have done.
Yeah, and I think that's a knack. I think when you're in that position, some players can find themselves a little bit overawed by it and snatch at a chance like that. Okay. But he was very composed and took it very well.
Well, we were in real pre-season territory there, with Bilokovic skying it high. Now Leicester will have a corner through Jaden Joseph's endeavours, but it was up and down and back up again, and now it's behind, so it's a corner for Leicester.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the young lads in this second half. Jeremy Monga on that left-hand side has caused a few problems. Obviously, Louis Page with his with the 2 goals, and Jaden Joseph as well, who's looked very bright. It's promising signs.
Christensen poised over this corner kick, flicked on at the near post, away by Peterborough. Page manages to find James Justin, poked away from him, but it'll just be a throw. Justin finds Alves. Just got a little ahead of himself, but manages to pinch it back. Christensen finds Jeremy Monga. Here's Silko Thomas in the challenge again. Throwing goes the visitors' way. Leicester also have a pre-season game against Fiorentina to look forward to. It's at home in August. Well, the flag eventually goes up. Borza comes out, closes the angle well. Kirill Lisby foiled any chance of a first ever Peterborough United goal by the flag. Taken on by Alves. Turns away from Keller. And on he goes. This is Will Alves. Page. Alves once more. Jaden Joseph. James Justin. Cody. Sumare. Monga. Loose touch. Allows Scott Clark time to react, but tracking back to Christensen. It's back with Leicester. Page with a brace to his name. Putting Leicester back in front after Chris Clark had equalised for Peterborough. Such an expressive young player, Jeremy Monga. Every time he has the ball at his feet, you feel like something exciting might happen.
Yeah, I do like the way he plays. He's always got his head up. He's always looking for runners. A few times he's tried to play the ball for, whether it's Will Alves. On this occasion it was Victor Christensen, just that third man running just in behind, and he does look a threat whenever the ball is at his feet.
Well, the second youngest player to ever play in the Premier League, Jeremy Monga. Here's Page, who's on a hat-trick. Christensen. Doesn't stick to Silko Thomas. Cleared as far as Bradley Yonvien. It's a foul from Sumare.
Let's go.
Con Clark. Now Jumo. Keller. And then Keller brought in from Birmingham City this summer. Was on loan at Bradford City last season, of course, who won League Two promotion in the most dramatic of circumstances on the final day of the campaign. It's a lovely pass to find Jaden Joseph. Bade Aluko's the man who's provided it. Good save. Drops as far as Silko Thomas. It's just too crowded in there for him to get the shot away. Justin skips between two and thrashes into the side netting.
Yeah, not a bad effort. I think that was the right decision. Yeah, it was a tight angle, but there weren't really much support in the box for him. But like you say, a lovely pass that starts that move off by Aluko. Just breaks out of defence and threads a ball between a few defenders for Jaden Joseph to run onto.
He's been impressive, hasn't he, in the second half? Aluko. Bilokovic, the Australian goalkeeper for Peterborough. Mendonça. Yonvien. Pressured by Page. Turns it over for Leicester City. Monga. Alves. Sumare. Somehow managed to keep that in, James Justin. Aluko thrown to the ground by Yonvien. Referee says no foul. Connor Cody comes across and neatly tidies up. Joseph. It's really well done by Jaden Joseph. It's a free kick on the edge of the area for Leicester City. Would have been at the very least a corner.
Yeah, again, to running behind. I think that's been a theme of this second half. There's been a lot of runs in behind that back line that have caused problems, and the young lads that have played have really been willing to make them runs as well. So it's been good to watch.
Well, Christensen has been taking the corners, so naturally promoted to free kick duties from this angle. Wasn't called up for Denmark's games with Northern Ireland and Lithuania last month. Victor Christensen, he'll be keen to get back in the Danish mix. Swings that ball in too close to the goalkeeper.
I think you look at that there, the reaction, Kingy's just said it there, but the reaction of every single one of them players to get back and defend and get back into position after the keeper catches that free kick was brilliant to watch. The attitude of them players then to be able to do that and stop any kind of counter attack was brilliant.
Opportunity maybe for Silko Thomas. One-on-one with Mendonça. Silko Thomas, that's a beauty. What a finish on his left foot. And that should wrap up the result for Leicester here in pre-season. Well, he didn't score a single goal on loan against League One opposition last season when at Wigan, but maybe he's been saving them all up because that was a stunner.
Yeah, fully deserves it. Obviously the great finish at the end of it, but the work that that he put in just before that to force the mistake from the centre half and then to go again. Ball gets played through to him and composes himself, and it's a lovely finish with his left foot.
Well, he might be 6'5", Nicholas Bilokovic, but there was no way he was ever going to get there. Rifled into the top corner by Silko Thomas. And it's Leicester City's youngsters who have provided the goals for them this afternoon in their first pre-season test. 2 for Page, 1 for Thomas. And you'd imagine, barring some late attacking flair from Peterborough United, that could well be that in terms of scoreline. There's always someone in pre-season that scores an absolute worldie. Always someone. Maybe it might be this time Silko Thomas. There's always a game or two where someone pulls out a special one. Well, that brings the curtain down on Leicester City's first pre-season outing of 2025-26, and it's a winning start. Minutes in legs, but also a result to match. All of the goals coming in the second half. Louis Page, the young midfielder from the under-21s, he provided 2 of them, opening the scoring with a sweeping left-footed finish before Posh equalised through Chris Con-Clark, who was gifted an opportunity by goalkeeper Stevie Borza. But a tidy finish into the other corner for Louis Page made it 2-1, and then Silko Thomas wrapped things up with an excellent strike into the top corner right at the very end of the day. All in all, Mark Albrighton, a good exercise for Kingy and those players.
Yeah, great exercise. They've got the fitness out of it. They've got the first minutes on a pitch where they can sort of get used to the positional side of the game and the tactical side of the game, and then to come off with a good win, and that's the cherry on top. You've also got a lot of the young lads that played as well today that have done themselves no harm, especially in that second half performance. I thought there was some outstanding performances.
Well, thanks for your company this afternoon, Mark. More from Mark Albrighton shortly. The results going in Leicester City's favour, and we wish Peterborough United all the best in their upcoming League One campaign as well. First game of pre-season finishes Leicester City 3, Peterborough United 1.
Declares Leicester City champions. There's a few banners actually in the players. Yeah, to signal that Leicester are straight back up to the Premier League.
Red Bull gives you wings. More.
10 secondes.
Yes, that is pre-season game number 1 done. We are 36 days away now from that game against Sheffield Wednesday, the start of the Championship campaign. As ever, Fox's Hub will have all the coverage of every single game this season. A number of those games will be available to watch as well. International audiences, your game passes are available now. You can get that early bird offer there. For everyone, the Listen Live season pass is also available for you. There's plenty more information on the website for you to look into what you need for the season. But welcome to our full-time show here in pre-season live. Leicester City have won their first game of pre-season. I'm Dan Bates. Mark Albrighton is alongside me now. We know it's not about the result, Mark, it is about the fitness, but it's great to see some goals, isn't it? It's great to get a winning feeling as well.
It is, yeah. They've got a lot from that exercise today. I think first and foremost it's minutes in the legs and themselves back on a pitch and be able to feel positional side of things. But I think obviously it's always nice to come off a football pitch with a win, and I think not only that as well, you've obviously the young lads that have come in and done so well, especially in that second half.
Yeah, we'll talk about those young lads. We'll also look through the goals in just a moment. Before we do, though, we're going to welcome in the goalkeeper in the first half, so a little clean sheet for the first 45. How are you, Jakub? Jakub Stolarczyk joins us.
Very well.
How was that first game of pre-season? Minutes for everybody, even you as a goalkeeper, you need those minutes, don't you, in pre-season?
Yeah, of course you do, and it's like I said earlier, it's nice to get minutes and play a game against someone that obviously we don't know, someone we don't train against. So it's always nice to test each other. Fitness-wise, obviously, it's been a good 45 minutes for everyone. So yeah, it's been a good game.
Have the lads enjoyed it as well out there?
Oh, definitely. I think everyone missed the feeling of playing game. So I think it was good that we could get everyone minutes under the belt, and yeah, I think most of the lads just enjoyed being out there and getting their fitness back up.
As we've spoken about already, Mark, a number of times, and Jakub's just said there, getting the fitness back is one thing, but it is nice to win a game as well and to get that winning feeling already at this stage of pre-season.
Yeah, and I think Jakub will say the same as well. Like we've just said there, it's mainly about the minutes in the legs, but you never want to come off the pitch having lost, and it just sets a precedent, right? This is a statement now. This is how we mean to go on in the rest of pre-season, win games and get everything else out of it.
No, I think what Mark said is spot on. I think that's what, obviously we all said it to each other. Obviously it's not only just about the result today, it's all about the fitness, but we always go to the game wanting to win it, and the fact that we've done it today, I think can only appreciate the lads' effort, and obviously it's something to build on going into the next pre-season game, and then going into the next one until the season kicks off.
You know firsthand what it's like to come through the academy here at Leicester City, and we've seen some fantastic performances from some of the young lads this afternoon, particularly in that second half.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think just for the young lads training with the first team, where obviously I've been in their position before, where I've trained a lot with the first team during the pre-season, and whether it's a week or two or even the camp itself, it gives you so much experience and gives you so much confidence as well that you can build on. And the fact that obviously some of the performances the young lads have put in today, I think it's just good for them, good for confidence going into the next one, and hopefully most of them will be able to break through.
Yeah, and Jakub, you can class him as a senior player now, Mark. And what was it like for you as a senior player in those moments when a young lad would come in and do really well? What does that do to the rest of the group? Does it galvanise you more than anything?
Yeah, I said in commentary earlier, I think in pre-season you always get one or two young lads that really brighten the place up. They'll put in some really good performances, and they're really shining lights on pre-season. for me, coming through pre-season was a really important part for me, and that's probably where I sort of made my name in terms of the Villa first team. It was important for me. So you've got to start somewhere, and some of these players have been given a chance today and will be given a chance in the rest of pre-season to prove their ability, and it's a good stage to be able to do it. And obviously senior players like Jakob can guide them through.
Just finally, Jakob, obviously you've had a week of double sessions. Presumably it's going to be very similar again now this week coming ahead of another friendly here. It's all about just getting everything going again now at the start of pre-season.
Yeah, exactly, and I think the way how this week has gone and the way how lads have worked hard to be in the best shape possible to going into this game, I think it only shows the attitude of everyone, and I'm sure it will be exactly the same. So got to obviously recover now after this fitness test, as we should call it, and then go and start on again from Monday and build into the next pre-season game.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Jakob. Appreciate that. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate.
He's made us look a bit short there, I think, hasn't he, Mark, as well? So we can go back to me and next to each other now as well. We can look through some of the goals and the moments as well, particularly in the second half. You were obviously on commentary, spoken through them as well. And to be fair, they're three really well taken goals, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. The build-up from was good. Obviously, the first one was Jeremy. Great work from Jeremy Monger on that left-hand side, and it was, and obviously it just breaks, and Louis Page just finds himself in the right place at the right time, gets a good strike off, and takes a deflection into the back of the net.
We spoke about the supporters, didn't we? And actually, when Jeremy Monger beats it sort of 2 or 3 with some great footwork, you can hear the crowd. They're excited. That's what they want to see.
Of course, yeah, and obviously Jeremy Monger seems the type of player that he will get fans off seats, and he will get you excited whenever he gets the ball. And I think I've not seen loads of him, but what I have seen, he plays with his head up as well. It's easy for young players to get the ball, especially wide players with tricky feet, to get the ball and their heads down, but he's always looking for a run, whether it's an underlap, an overlap. He's always looking to find a player in a better position.
Yeah, disappointing the second goal. You were literally on commentary talking about how mistakes do happen in pre-season, but listen, these things happen. It's about ironing them out at this stage when results aren't at top priority. Yeah,
obviously it makes a mistake there, but and I said in commentary, it's all about the reaction, and he goes on to have a part to play in the third
Absolutely.
goal. So credit to him. He's put it behind him, and he can walk off the pitch and learn from the mistake, but be proud of his reaction.
Yeah, and this is a good goal, isn't it? The second, another one for Louis Page, obviously.
Yeah, it's a great finish in the end. The way times he's run, obviously good squared ball by James Justin, and again the way times his run to just meet it at the perfect time and to guide it in that bottom corner. He don't snatch at it. He just guides it low and into that far corner. It's a great finish.
Yeah, I tell you what, we'll save the third, which is probably the best till last, because standing a couple of feet to your right hand side, Mark, we've got Andy Kingy, and thank you for joining us live. Yeah, very good, thank you.
Very well, okay? Very well.
I'm sure there'll be a proper catch up between you two after this. Yeah, how did you see that, Kingy?
Really good. Not just because obviously like you win the game and stuff like that. It would never have been about that today. I think it's easy to say if you lose, it's not about the result. Even when you win, today was never about the result. I think we made that clear throughout the week. The lads are tired going into today. They've had a hard week, as pre-season should be. But to be fair to them, they've done everything we've asked of them. Yeah, we can be cleaner in possession sometimes, but that comes off fatigue and that comes off, we've not had a competitive game yet. This was our first one. We don't actually normally do an opposition game until the second week. We usually do an in-house game at the end of the first week, but I thought it was a great workout for them. I thought, like I say, they did everything we asked of them, as they have done all week. And it's more nice for the crowd to actually see some goals, and some of the younger lads perform so well as well. But we mentioned this week, those younger lads have only performed well because of how the senior players have been with them. So yeah, really, really good. Really encouraging first week.
Yeah, you mentioned the young lads there. it's exactly what I was going to ask you. Obviously, we see Louis Page gets a couple of goals. I thought Jaden Joseph was brilliant. It was like running in behind, and I thought that was a key feature to the second half. There's a lot of young lads coming through. How do you see them? Obviously, you've worked with them for the last year or so in the academy. How do you see them and see them progressing?
First of all, they're unbelievable lads. I think that's why they're at the stage they are, and we can trust them with the first team. So you mentioned Jaden there. Jaden's actually a right back, but he's one of them where I'd said earlier in the week, like, I'll take Jaden and just to fill the session. He can play right back, centre half, right wing, number 8, number 6. He could probably play number 10. He's one of them. You tell him to do something once, and it stayed technically very, very good. Unbelievable athlete. So like you said, they're running behind. Second half, we said get it wide, someone run the corner from inside, and I think you saw him do it a lot. We only had to tell him once, and all of a sudden he's running the corner every single time, and he just gave us a great outball, and that's the joy with him. But that group in general, really, really high quality, but high attitude, application, and work ethic and drive as well. So to see them perform like that against a good League One team, Peterborough always finish pretty high in the league. Big physicality and stuff like that. To see them cope with that and not only cope with it, but actually perform really well was really encouraging for the players, and also I think the academy deserve a lot of credit for that. Having been someone who's worked in the academy side of the building, I think it's all well and good saying like today, the academy, and we played the academy and stuff like that, but there's also people who probably don't get the credit who've had them under 9, under 10, under 11, done so much work with them to get them to perform to the level they have done today.
Yeah, there was a list of the younger lads today, and the fact that they'd all been in the academy since the under 8s, the under 9s, the under 10s, and they've come through a pathway that so many top quality players have. And the 499 or whatever it was supporters that were here today, outsiders looking in as supporters, you love to see the young players coming through and performing like they did there.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, the fans want to see it. There has to be a balance. Of course, you can't just have 11 young lads playing. They also have to understand that next week international players are back and stuff like that. So again, senior players coming back, things like that becomes more competition for places. That's adult football. Academy can sometimes be everyone gets a fair chance at it, and why aren't I playing and why aren't I playing. I think as they go on, they have to understand we can't all play, and ultimately the best ones will play, and it's about trying to perform to make sure you keep that shirt when you've got it. And to be fair, off the back of what they've done today, they have done really well.
And I think you're right. Like, obviously, Aluko at the back there, he's got James Justin one side of him, he's got Connor Cody the other side of him, talking him through the game, helping him. Obviously, yourself from the sideline. How important are them senior players? Obviously, we've seen it at certain levels, but how important are they? Can you just explain to people what the message is that they have to get across in terms of helping them, not just as a player but as a person growing up into this environment as well?
Yeah, certainly. I actually mentioned it in a meeting, I think it was Thursday or Friday, where I said, lads, you guys are actually really lucky. Not only have you had the exposure of training with the first team, they're actually very, very good with them in terms of talking them for the game. They don't get on them. When our generation, if we were young and you came up and you gave the ball away, it was very much like kill the young lad, try and nail the young lad for running around too much. But they're the opposite. They actually really, really care about the young person as much as the young player. They try and talk them through the game, and it was a little bit with the selection as well. We tried to do that. So obviously Victor, being a Danish international, playing behind Jeremy, sandwiching Bade between James Justin, Connor Cody, almost talking with JJ in front of him, knowing Jaden Joseph in front of him. Sorry, there's too many JJs floating about. With James Justin behind him again, talking him through. Bade's also a right back, so not a centre half, so another one who's played out of position, but unbelievable athleticism. So we knew if we want a high press, which we did, he could get us out of jail at the back. So they're brilliant. Senior lads this week especially have been top class, but not just this week, even the back end of last year when you saw the likes of Jeremy and Jake and Bade coming into the squad and actually playing. They're very, very fortunate they've got not only the players there, but the people in that player to actually really care for them and try, and they want the best for them. They don't see them as these people are coming for my shirt, I better try and keep him underneath me. They actually want to help these players grow and develop, which is a credit to them.
Final point from you then, King. We know this week's been full of the double sessions, the hard work ahead of this, another training exercise effectively. Next week, does it look very similar? Another intense week building up to that OHL game? Yeah,
obviously we're sort of taking each day as it comes, maybe a little bit as a saying at the moment. But yeah, certainly if sort of nothing happens over the weekend, we'll take it towards next week, and it's been really enjoyable. The lads have been brilliant. We've got to keep working at it. That's not the be-all, we've completed pre-season, no, anything but. It gets ramped up again next week and the week after and the week after, and then maybe in week 5 or 6, whenever he's in, okay, then you taper towards the game or things like that. But at the moment, We've made that very clear with the players at the start of the week. We're not periodising for the game. You're going to be tired going into the game. Your legs are going to be sore. It will be the same again next week. Okay, you've had a hard week. You know what pre-season's like. It's hard for the first 2.5 weeks, maybe even all the way till you come back from the pre-season trip abroad. And then, okay, you start to do the other stuff. But for this week, yeah, we'll go again, double sessions. And then again, Leuven will be another game where it's not like we've done a couple of singles leading into the game, so everyone's in the best physical shape. No, they'll be tired, they'll be fatigued, but this is where we build it, because ultimately we don't care about the results at the moment. I know we always want to play to win. This club desires that you play to win, but you know, ultimately it's the result against Sheffield Wednesday and the other 45 games after that, which are the real milestone, not what we do in these early stages.
Perfect. Thank you very much for joining us, King. I do appreciate that. Cheers.
See you off camera.
Thank you very much.
That was Andy King there, speaking to us live here on Fox's Hub and on YouTube as well, after Leicester City's first pre-season game of the summer. It's actually fascinating. He's a great talker, isn't he? One of your very good mates. Does it seem a little bit weird when it's someone you spent so much time with as a friend to be in that environment with?
It is strange, I must admit. It is very strange. Obviously, both finished playing, both gone in different direction, different paths as you do when you finish playing football. But I think, like you say, such a good talker, and I think I said before in commentary, maybe he's got the ability to be able to connect with everyone from every background, and whether that's young lads, whether that's more senior lads, whether that's foreign lads, he's just got the ability to be able to connect, and that's a real quality, and that's why I believe that whether it's coaching he goes into, whether it's management, whether it's anything that he decides to do, it'll always be a success, because he's a hard worker as well, works very hard at it, but he's just got so many qualities that can bring him that success.
Final word on Kingy, but more as a general on the game. He could easily have come here and said, yeah, buzz in 3-1, and the first thing he says is actually it doesn't matter, regardless what the result was. He's pleased to see the level of hard work that the players have put in this week, because we don't know what might happen over the next week, 2 weeks, whatever it might be. The job here was to get the players fit and ready, and that's exactly what we've seen.
Yeah, he's very methodical in the way he does things as well. He knows the game inside out, and he's done enough pre-seasons to know what's needed. I would say as well, a credit to the players. I think credit to the players in the way that they've gone about the business and the attitude and the discipline that they've shown. I think there was a case with about 10 minutes to go in that second half where wide free kick has gone straight into the keeper's hands, and they've tried to break. Every single one of them players has sprinted back to get back into position and to try and stop a counter-attack. Now they're doing that possibly knowing that Andy King is not going to be the manager next week or the week after. But they're doing that out of themselves, but they're doing it because they've got respect for the guy that's taking the game today, and I think that speaks volumes.
Let's speak through the final of the 4 goals today, and it is probably best to last, actually, really, isn't it, from an individual point of view? How good is this?
Yeah, fantastic and fully deserved in the end. Obviously, the finish is incredible, but the ball over, he really fights for it in the first place, and forces the mistake from the goalkeeper, from the centre half. And obviously the ball breaks, and he's on his bike straight away. Can see he's on the last line. Lovely ball through, and then he's got composure at the end of it to come inside, and the finish is fantastic, especially that angle there. It's a fantastic finish.
Yeah, I was underneath the gantry where you were watching the game, and you've probably had a very similar angle, almost straight behind it, really, as it goes into that top corner. They're always satisfying ones, aren't they?
They are, yeah. He gives us the greatest angle of it, fortunately. But he's, like I say, it's his work before that gets him that chance to be able to get his goal today. And I'm sure him, along with Louis Page and the other young lads, will go away from here, and they'll be pleased with their performances and eager to get going again next week now.
Yeah, just final point from you, Mark. Obviously, you've been here. You've not really seen anything that's gone on this week, of course, but from a supporter point of view, there are reasons to be cheerful, aren't they? We know the lads have had a really good week fitness-wise. On the pitch, they've scored 3 goals. Result doesn't matter. The fitness is there, but supporters just want to see goals, don't they? They want to see action. They want to see new young players, and that's exactly what they have seen today.
Yeah, I think it can be deemed a big success today. Like Kingy says, on Monday morning it's forgotten, we go again, and but today on many fronts can be deemed a big success, whether that's the fitness that the lads have got out of it, the performances of the young players, the senior players as well, who have guided the young players and helped them through and perform themselves, and then obviously to top it off, you get a win at the end of a long hard week.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for joining us, both here, pitchside and on commentary as well. A nice busy day for you. Your first day back of pre-season as well. It's always a pleasure having you, Mark. Thank you to everybody that has joined and watched along with us this afternoon. We hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back again, of course, in a week's time for that friendly against Leuven. That's on Saturday. Its kickoff's a little bit later in the afternoon, so you maybe have a bit longer in bed before you tune in and watch us. So please do so. We're just over a month now away from the start of the Championship season. Leicester City's first pre-season game of the summer has been a success. Thank you for watching, everyone. Goodbye.